got my first whitetail in Texas.
Hey, hunt of a lifetime right here, huh?
The great state of Texas, huh? Yes.
That's just a great feeling. That's priceless. That's the best part of hunting. The friendship and the camaraderie that you feel. Everybody being able to relate to the sport. That's why we do it. That's the best feeling in the world. I don't even think it's about the kill. I think it's more about the brotherhood and the friendship.
Mwah. Mwah. You did the job. You did the job.
See him right there, look at his horns laying out there through the brush. Oh, man. That is one heck of a deer, man.
Oh, thank you so much.
Let's see it.
Oh.
Get your hands on him.
That is just ridiculous. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry or, yeah, I think it was, you know, the emotions of the hunt, the reason that we're here, my buddies that aren't here. I think I just kept smiling because I didn't want to cry.
The greatest mind in medicine could never have predicted the healing properties of a white-tailed deer.
Oh, man, thank you so much.
Long before the nutritional benefits of venison are ever felt, it is the sensation of holding a pair of antlers that can help someone heal in countless ways. For Ronald Dorsey and Jerome Robey, it was a weekend that brought unparalleled joy and unparalleled storms.
We're not politically correct, we just have common sense.
Unscripted, unfiltered, unfaltering. Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes offers tributes and true stories of remarkable courage.
If these terrorists could come in your bedroom and kill you, your wife, and your kids, and that's what these men are fighting to protect us from, these murdering idiots. And they're taking them out so that we don't have to deal with them over here.
Show of Support started it all just after the shock and awe bound a nation together. Now, years of footage portraying wounded veterans, deer stands, and standing ovations. Hunt for Heroes, that started as one man's way to say thanks, is now a series that many say is way overdue.
I ain't never felt like that before, and I want to feel that again.
It's just a raw emotion.
They left us being loved and being honored for the heroes that they are.
We still have 40,000 injured troops.
If you threaten our people and our way of life, we will find you wherever you may be hiding, in the place you feel most safe, and we'll kill you in your own bedroom. Thank you for being a country worth fighting for. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
It's going to take a while to get around to all of them, but there's no quitting. It'll never stop as long as I'm breathing.
It's West Texas, where the sky can throw a temper tantrum with almost no warning. And for Ronald and Jerome, the reception they received in Midland, Texas was also unexpected.
Johnson, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hey, appreciate you coming.
My wife, Tracy.
Terry Johnson.
What we were thinking, it's like, wow, there's a lot of people here to greet us.
This is Ronnie Dorsey and his wife, Kate.
When we came around the corner and there was a group of people greeting us, and we was like, wow. Now we starting to get energized, like, what's going on?
Staff Sergeant Ronald Dorsey, United States Army Artillery. He's an airborne paratrooper, a parachute rigger, chemical operations guy. His wife, Kay, is with him. His hometown was Fayetteville, North Carolina. And he joined the Army to get away from Fayetteville, and that's exactly where they sent him.
It's become an autumn tradition in Midland. Before the hunt starts, the heroes and their wives are officially presented to an adoring crowd. Neither Ronald nor Kay expected any of this.
My wife was a little nervous, but I really didn't realize how many people was there that night until I got on stage. Then you get on stage and it's like, oh my God, this is a lot of support. In that moment, that's, I'll never forget that. Man, I'm sorry guys, but that moment, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because you feel the love. You really do. And if I'd have never got to hunt at that day, I was complete. Well, I was stationed in Afghanistan for my last time, which was 2012 to 2013. We had to set up a heavy weapons range for the helicopters to have targets to shoot at. And while we were setting up the heavy weapons range, we started taking fire. We had to attempt an emergency landing, and we just lost control. We was in a helicopter crash, and I was injured pretty bad. I mean, I broke my shoulder, collarbone, my shoulder blade, elbow, fractured my wrist, a couple knuckles, and broke 4 ribs that punctured the lung. I try not to relive it too much, but luckily it's not a life-threatening thing that we died, but it's just one of the things that happens every day being deployed. You can go from having breakfast to being bombed in a matter of minutes. And that's just Army life.
Ronald Dorsey, along with his hunting guide Chase Davis, will be going after Ronald's first deer ever as Show of Support Hunt for Heroes continues.
I was a little nervous about the hunt, only because I bow hunt. I don't shoot too much rifle hunts, but felt really good going out. At that point, I could really care less if I shot anything or not. I was having such a great time.
Like so many hunts here at the Rocking Chair, it's sunny, warm, and windy right in the middle of whitetail season. Hunting guide Chase Davis looks forward to the Show of Support hunt every year. And so far this season, this ground blind has paid off several times already with other hunters. United States Army Staff Sergeant Ronald Dorsey is one of those rare individuals who one day picked up a compound bow and decided to start archery hunting even before ever taking a whitetail with his rifle.
Once we got out there, it was just amazing just to sit in the blind and see all the deer come up and feed and all the yearlings. And it was just an all-around amazing time.
As it stands, if he kills a whitetail here, it'll be the first deer ever.
When I first saw the first 8-point, I knew he was kind of small, but you know, you kind of want to go ahead and knock him off the first time you see him, but you got to hold some restraint when you're hunting. You know something's always going to come bigger.
Just as Ronald's excitement level rises, something spooks all the deer. We've all been in Ronald's shoes. It's getting late, and just when things look promising, the place clears out, but not for long.
I was looking forward, and Chase kind of elbowed me, and we looked to the left, and he was right on the left side of the blind, and he's an amazing buck. He's real big, he's real mature, he's amazing. He had good color on him. And when he started walking in front of the blind, that was just spectacular to see. I thought he was a good buck. And I didn't think I'd be able to shoot him because he kind of went behind the tree for a little bit, and he'd come from behind the tree, then he'd go back in behind the tree. I was like, man, that is a big boy, and it's amazing. I just go ahead and shoot him right now, and I know you got to wait your time and wait your patience and kind of let the animal do what he's gonna do. But just to watch him, just to watch that amazing animal, just to be that close to him, that was a good feeling. And then I got to a point where even if I don't get to shoot him, I just enjoy watching this animal. Being this close to him was the best feeling ever.
Yeah! First buck right there. That's a great buck to shoot right there. Right here, man. dropped him in his tracks. That's awesome.
I was ecstatic. I don't even think if there's a bigger word, I'd use that word to be able to shoot a whitetail for the first time ever. That experience, you can't forget that.
Yes. Shoot. Yes. Yeah. There's a big buck right there.
Oh, man.
We'll give it a second and we'll walk up there.
Man.
That was perfect because you saw him. He came right there in front of us, and then I was like, oh, you know, coming back and forth. That was awesome.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
That's awesome.
That was worth the wait. That was worth the wait.
Being in the military, we shoot rifles all the time, so it's kind of like, which made me go to bow hunting in the first place. But to get out there and actually use the rifle and see how well it's shot, and to get into it with a whitetail, it was just amazing. It was an amazing feeling. I was at an all-time high. That was the best feeling. You could tell how big he was from a distance, but the closer we got, you could really see how thick and big he was, and my heart just pumped more and more and more, and it was like a kid at Christmas. I felt so good seeing him up close and finally getting to touch him, get my hands on him. Just the best feeling in the world.
All right, tilt his head towards me. There you go.
He will be mounted in the house somewhere, so when I got another story to tell friends when they come over, you know. I got that guy in Texas.
Ronald Dorsey now knows this is a feeling he wants to experience again and again and again. West Texas can do that to a person, especially when there's a whitetail buck on the ground.
You got my first whitetail in Texas.
Hey, hello, right there.
Great state of Texas. Yeah.
Big wheat field right here with a feeder right there in that brush line. It's supposed to be some pretty nice deer coming into this feeder, so got a good wind. It's blowing right in our face.
My wife, she was so tired of hearing about this. She heard it for, you know, the 2 weeks that I knew I was coming here, and when I got here and she found out what this was, she was excited for me. She knew this was a big deal.
United States Army Staff Sergeant Jerome Robey is getting the most he can out of this hunt. It's his last afternoon here at the Rocking Chair Ranch, and he and hunting guide John Hudson have their eyes on the horizon, where storm clouds are gathering.
The weather was getting really bad. We get to the blind, and it might be the oldest blind on this ranch. The door was stuck when we got there. We're trying not to make noise. There's deer all over the field, and it's got a tin roof, and the windows are broke in it, and we're trying to get situated, being quiet. It was a challenge just getting into the blind and not scaring the deer off. I was trying to pretend like it wasn't bothering me that I hadn't shot one where pretty much everyone else had.
That's him. The one on the right's the big, mature, extremely heavy horn deer. There's a younger, nice deer to the left. The big, heavy horn deer, it looks like he's kind of interested in some does already. Got his nose to the ground. He's got incredible mass for this part of the world.
The rest of the guides at the Rocking Chair Ranch have been talking about a huge whitetail they've spotted, always at the far end of this huge field. John's nervous, knowing the buck was already out in the opening when they approached the blind. As far as Jerome is concerned, it's the biggest buck he's ever seen, even if it is 300 yards away.
When I saw that deer tonight, I looked over at him, I'm like, I know we can't shoot that one. And he's like, no, that's the one we're gonna shoot. That's when my blood pressure went up. I started shaking a little bit, my hands were sweating, and I kept going, man, I hope he gets closer, I hope he gets closer. And my guide's like, we're gonna wait him out. I'm watching this deer the whole time, and he would come in a little bit, and then he would chase the does back, and then he would come in a little bit, get me going again. And, I mean, this went on for 2 hours.
It's asking a lot from a buck to think he'll clear 300 yards or even get close enough for a decent shot. All they can do is watch and wait. Both the sky and the buck. Jerome starts to wonder if he'll actually be able to have a chance of squeezing the trigger on this rifle that came as a surprise just a few days ago.
Both of these are active duty. Jerome Robey and his wife Tracy.
Their hometown is Culvert, New Hampshire. He was deployed to Iraq 4 times in 2002, 4, 5, and 6. Had a broken back from a parachute freefall accident.
When I joined the military, I joined as an infantryman, and then I decided that I wanted to jump out of airplanes. And from there, I went directly to 5th Special Forces. I deployed with them 4 times to Iraq. I was just doing a regular jump. I landed real hard, and I felt something in my back. I woke up the next morning, I couldn't feel my feet. I saw the surgeon there, and he's like, you have a severe spinal injury where you fractured your first 3 discs in your back.
It's at this huge banquet where the warriors are surprised, humbled, and emotionally touched when a brand new hunting rifle is placed in their hands. Only thing is, in a hunting blind days later, Jerome wonders if he'll ever get the chance to feel the recoil of that generous gift as Show of Support Hunt for Heroes continues.
The feeling I had during that time was, I'm going to be that guy hunting on Sunday morning and hoping and praying that I was going to get a deer. I'd hunted those other 2 days and I was getting anxious, and I was like, oh, that deer ain't going to do what we want to. The weather's getting bad. So we watched it for 2 hours straight, and it never came any closer than what it was.
United States Army Staff Sergeant Jerome Robey is getting tortured by the hesitation of a huge Texas buck. His guide, John Hudson, ushers up all the patience he can while waiting on that animal. It's a great deer, but at 300 yards, details and finer points of his rack are lost at that distance.
Only someone that has never shot a huge white-tailed deer like that can only feel the way that I felt today in that deer stand, knowing how bad and what a great deer that would have been to shoot. It was tough to sit there for 2 hours. In my mind, I kept saying, at some point he's going to have to come in. At some point that doe is going to run straight towards us and he's going to follow her. There was a little doubt there, but I kept hope. I looked up, there was big lightning bolts in the sky, it started thundering, and I said to my guide, I was like, hey, we're in a 10 blind, do you think that's bad?
About the same time, the bottom falls out of the sky. The buck starts to move.
The rain, it just started pouring down rain, and we were watching that deer, and for some reason that deer came across that field, and my heart was beating out of my chest. The rain was so loud, I couldn't even hear what the guy John was telling me. He's running so fast to the left, I have to switch window, and at this point, everything is happening so fast that I didn't even have time to think. I honestly thought he was just heading for the woods and we were never going to see him again. Then he stopped, I waited, and he gave us the perfect broadside shot.
Jack another one in, jack another one in. He's down. Yeah. Woo! In the rain. Oh, man, that's amazing.
It was chaos. To be honest with you, I just didn't have the time to be nervous.
It might get a touch wet, but it's going to be worth it. Let's go get him.
This is unbelievable. This is my first whitetail.
We're going to be spoiled at this one.
I've hunted for the last 5 years for mule deer in Arizona, bow. I've never come close. This is This is a dream come true.
See him right there, look at his horns laying out there through the brush.
Oh, man.
Check it out. That is one heck of a deer, man.
Oh, thank you so
What do you
much.
think? Let's see it.
Oh,
Get your hands on him.
that is just ridiculous.
You will not find many deer with this kind of mass. It's this part of the world.
Oh, my goodness.
What is he, a mainframe? 1, 2, 3, 4. Mainframe 10 with some extra kickers.
Look at that.
Look at the mass just palmade right there, man. That's awesome.
my
Perfect
goodness.
shot.
When I put my hands on that deer and I was looking around and it was raining, and for a split second it stopped raining. It was beautiful. The clouds and the sun was going down and the bright skies, and it was incredible. It felt like a real moment that I shared with the people out here and the people that put this whole program together. It was a special moment.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14 points. How about that?
Oh, man. I think I just kept smiling because I didn't want to cry.
Here they come.
When Terry came up, I couldn't thank him enough. It was definitely special. And it was nice that he was out there and I could personally thank him. And I know it meant a lot to him, and I know it meant a lot to me.
On a November night in West Texas, a storm passes, leaving one man to absorb the image of a weekend he'll never forget. Jerome Robey will never be the same. But after meeting Jerome, the people on this Texas hillside will never be the same either.
The hunt was awesome. The ranch is awesome, but I think it's the love of this community is really what it's all about. It's something I'll never forget.